Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Welcome into Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. Appreciate you guys tuning in with us here on a Sunday night and letting us entertain you. It is the OG2, Kyler Hope, Caleb Hart, the KH Dudo, and it's kind of like the Evergreen Speedway family smorgasbord where everybody brings a dish tonight. We have got so much variety for you guys on this show, and Kyler, it's going to be fun just looking at everything that we got on our plate tonight. Yeah, you got a lot to choose from.
Yeah, exactly. This is the first time that I can remember we've had a 3-day show on Memorial Weekend, and the fans, they showed up on Sunday. It was a packed house. Can't wait to show you guys the awesome crowd and talk about action. 3 nights of action into one show. What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to pick a little bit from everything and give you the absolute best of the best, and we will start things off. It is going to be Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets action. Our program here on Seattle 11 brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Here's the field for our first feature of the night. It is a B-main event from the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets. Katrina Mahoney's the 13, Charlie Stevens the 58 out of Snohomish Bravas Pizza, the second row, Sophie Neal the 24 out of Everett, and Skylar Christensen the 23B out of Monroe, sponsored by Klein Rental.
Next row, we got the Goldhammer LLC number 22, Jalen Morgan out of Arlington. And the outside, the 15 of Lane Peters. Next row, you see the 44 River Peter out of Snohomish, sponsored by Reppin Welding and Rail. And the outside, 77 Naomi Bigford out of Kirkland, sponsored by Fast and Tailorless Charity.
Alexis Iverson drives the 810 Hornet out of Buckley. So you've got 9 cars rolling around the 5th mile here on the inside. And as you can see, a lot of drivers that we haven't had a chance to feature here on Home Track Heroes at all. They're running a little bit of an extended 5th mile around the inside because you've got some monster truck ramps, stuff, debris, whatever you want to call it. So it's
monster truck fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of a longer course than usual. And for these B-main drivers, they'll get their first chance at experiencing it. Green flag is out. And like I said, a lot of new names. We don't necessarily always get to catch the B feature from the Youth Hornets, but tonight we do. And Charlie Stevens has got the early lead in the beautiful white and purple number 58.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit of a tribal track for these guys today, guys and gals, I should say, today, as it's going to carry a lot more momentum into that corner up on the north end around the North Pole from what we normally see with these Youth Hornets. So it'll be interesting to see how these kids are able to adjust to that, carrying a lot more of that speed around that dog leg and that little bit different angle going into the corner here as we ride on board with the 44 River Peter. And just kind of hanging out in front of a huge crowd here. I mean, 12 to 14 years old racing in front of a crowd like this. Could you imagine doing that, Caleb?
Pressure's on, man, right? As we get to see and back up to that battle for third position. Sophie Neal is in the 24 and hanging on. Only 15 laps.
Ooh.
Look out. Wall comes up awfully quick for the 22 of Jalen Morgan. Morgan's going to get a whole lot of bumper. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
Lane Peters beep coming through. I really wanted that spot, and now you've got some billowing steam coming out. Let's see what happened from Peter's perspective. Wow. Huh. All right. Well, little kids have decided they wanted that spot. Let's watch it again. 22 of Morgan sails it way in high, and then coming into the corner.
That almost looks like a clutch pedal instead of a brake pedal situation here. I mean, some of these cars are automatic, some of them are manual, so that could have been getting down the corner and pressing the wrong pedal. By the way, that car never really looked like it was going to slow up for the corner.
Right. You're going to the corner. Normally you get a little stab of the brake going in before you start to make your apex, and in this instance, it was more of a stab of the right front into the left rear.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, some of these kids are driving manual transmission cars. I mean, there's a lot of adults nowadays that can't do that. So props to these kids for getting out there on the racetrack and showing them how to do it.
Not a single one of these kids even have their learner's permit yet.
Exactly,
so they're not legal on the road, but we'll put them here on the Tri-Oval at Evergreen Speedway and let them roll. So we got 3 down. There's 12 to go. Charlie Stevens leads. Katrina Mahoney is the 13 car, and Katrina is running second. Sophie Neal in the 24 is third. It is a mostly female group of cars out here at Evergreen Speedway for this B feature.
Especially towards the front of the field.
Yeah, love it. Love the diversity that we've got going here. Green flag is out. up and underway, and it's an excellent start for Stevens as Charlie gets into turn number 1 down the back straightaway.
And of course, Brand New Promotions always bringing on the great onboard footage. But no matter what series or what we're doing, I'm excited to see those onboards later on throughout all the different divisions we have today. But right now, right on board with Charlie Stevens, the 58, and just a really great perspective of the huge crowd they race in front of, trying to ignore that and make sure you hit your marks going right there at these tires. The 13's right going by right there, and cut it nice and close, but not too close to where you're hitting some of that monster truck debris like we talked about.
Gonna say, what if one of them accidentally hit the ramp?
Pulled a Haley Constance, is that what you're trying to say?
Goodness gracious, now that would be something. I don't remember that particular instance. I may have been convinced via fiscal methods to forget it, but at the same time...
Yeah, sadly, I mean, I was a photographer back then, and I have the proof, and I can hold it overhead if I need to.
You might need to send that to me just so I have it, as here comes Stevens carrying a lot of speed, and all of a sudden Alexis Iverson's like, wow, that 58 car showed up real fast.
Oh, yeah, and a great job there by Charlie Stevens to not get into the lap car, stay way to the inside, and be a little bit patient. And now it looks like there might be a problem with the 58 as she's slowing way up right there.
Look out. Well, picks it back up, I think.
Might have fallen out of gear.
It could be. Of note, too, no spotters in this division. So they're running spotter-free, and I want to say they're running mirror-free, too. In a lot of instances, they are, if not all of them. So Stevens now having a race with Mahoney, and Mahoney's going to take the lead here in the B feature.
Yeah, definitely big problems on that 58. Not sure if they're just in the wrong gear. Might have popped into a higher gear than they need to be, and they aren't able to get it back in where they should be, and not able to carry enough speed. But yeah, new leader up at the front with coming up to 6 to go now, Katrina Mahoney.
If we get another shot of it too, take a look at the tire. Might have had a tire going down too, which absolutely will affect the drive. But it is Mahoney, it is Neal, and now Skylar Christensen sits in position number 3. Car looks a lot like the Somerville Stinger 8,
a little bit,
it?
Yeah. That's the 24 of Sophie Neal right there. Yeah, definitely very much like that iconic. That was number 21 that the Somervilles like to run a lot.
And still is.
Yep.
As we flash forward, there's Jalen Morgan taking over position number 3. So Mahoney, Neal, Morgan, all female podium at the moment. Look at that.
Yeah, I think we were told it's maybe happened twice before. Once in the Youth Hornets and once in the, was it Stingers or regular Hornets? It's happened at
one or the other. Either way,
Stinger
it would be a momentous occasion here as you're taking a look. Mahoney doing a good job picking up laps and putting them down as time ticks away quickly here in the 5th mile on just a 15-lapper. Neal is reeling in on Mahoney.
Do we think it's a little bit more than a 5th mile today with that extra little kink in the backstretch?
5th and a half? I don't know.
Is that how fractions work?
Some people are hearing it's a 5th. Bottoms up. Here we go.
Whoa!
Wide entrance to the corner.
A little bit of drifting action even today on Home Track Heroes. This is a 13, Katrina Mahoney getting way hot into turn number 1 and able to get the car under control as we ride back on board with the 58 of Charlie Stevens, trying to make their way back up as the white flag is out for your race leader, Katrina Mahoney.
So cool to get to show the B main here for the Youth Hornets. And again, a lot of faces we're unfamiliar with as we're coming into 3. And oh, look out. Off the final corner, Mahoney is going to get the win. Checkered flag there. Second is Neal. And wait for it. Let's see if Morgan can get there. Yes, indeed, all female top 3 as Stevens goes spinning out the end. Let's talk to him on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
All right, Jalen, you had to drive through a handful of cars to get back up on the podium. When that caution came up and you were in contact, what went through your head?
I could not see anything through my windshield, so I didn't even know what direction I was facing.
Working through some difficulties then, but who do you want to thank for helping to get out here to 3rd place tonight?
I'd like to thank Goldhammer, Earthwork Solutions, Compass Property Services, Olympia Pizza, the studio, my grandpa, my dad, and all my family and friends.
All right, make some noise for 3rd place, Jalen Morgan. All right, Sophie, good run today, 2nd place. What's it like getting to race on a day with the monster trucks are out and a crowd like this?
It's really fun, especially getting to hear the crowd be super loud.
You get a chance to run all day. Who do you want to thank for helping to get you fast out here, 2nd place tonight?
I would like to thank my mother and father, my grandpa, the Somerville family, and Airport Welding and Muffler.
All right, let's give it up. 2nd place tonight, Sophie Neal. So 2 wins for you this weekend. What is it like? What are you figuring out about tackling that course?
Definitely have to be aggressive when it comes to like the end, because you never know what's going to happen.
You guys ran that course a little differently than normally did, added a little bit of an extra curve. What was that like for you?
It's easier. You come along turn 3 way easier instead of like having to take it real wide. So yeah.
Who do you want to thank for helping you get out of here tonight?
Jacob Fung, Tanner, Bjornson's family, my mom, my dad, and all the fans that came out.
Let's make some noise for your B-Main race winner, Katrina Mahoney.
Well, congratulations, B-Main, for the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets. Now, our debut, been waiting since the introduction of this class over the offseason, of the Spec Ranger trucks. 4 of them coming out and making their debut, and they're not circle tracking here, Kyler. We're putting them on a road course, and we're doing even more with it.
Yeah, that's going to be the most exciting racing I think we're going to have all night. This is so cool. It's so exciting having a new series come to Evergreen Speedway. It's their first race ever.
Okay.
You're going to be able to see them 2 more times throughout the year, once down at Grays Harbor on July 12th, and again back at Evergreen August 22nd. So if you love what you see on your screen right now, be sure to come back. You can check out their Facebook page and Instagram, Spec Ranger Trucks. Get all the information on them, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this.
Okay, so we'll tell you who everybody is. That white with yellow, orange, and red truck, that's the number 27. It's Shane Bear, sponsored by Bear Construction. The blue truck, Matt Higginbotham. It's the 13 truck sponsored by Bear Construction as well. The 33 truck, that's the black and red one on the inside of row number 2. Kevin Kaufman, sponsored by Ardor Painting. And Jonah Vick is in the 17 truck. He is sponsored by Icon Shocks. That's the red, white, and blue one in the second row. So they're making a road course. They also have to make jumps on those ramps that you see with the white steel out and about. They are supposed to hit the ramps. They don't have to hit the ramps, but they're supposed to hit the ramps. And they're running either the 4 or the 6 cylinder in it. There's no engine swap.
Correct.
Year models, what, 88 through 01?
I believe 87 through actually 2011.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's
So a little
first,
bit
second,
newer.
or
Okay.
3rd gen Rangers, as someone's getting a little bit of early start there. Looks like Matt Higginbotham's getting a little excited up there,
Okay.
but don't catch up and not green flag yet. But yeah, so they run on a unique road course here. These trucks, I don't know if you've ever seen the Robbie Gordon Trophy Truck Series, but that's kind of what this was modeled after, but at a more affordable model than a big V8 truck with giant Nitto tires on it.
Right.
So a little bit of a smaller, more affordable, a little bit easier accessible when it comes to parts as well, because a lot of these trucks are pretty stock when it comes to everything that's on them.
Right, so they're all, pardon me, they're all 2-wheel drives. They're all Ford Rangers. Hey, we're already off a couple of jumps. That works. I'm good with that. They're all stock with the exception, they've put a cage in them. They've put racing equipment in them. They have a shock.
Safety is key.
Yeah, they have a shock package, and they're allowed aftermarket springs. Other than that, it's like a stock Ford Ranger that you're finding in your buddy's driveway that's been sitting there for 7 years doing anything with it.
Exactly, yeah, and they're on 31 by 10.5 tires as well, so a little bit different there than what you'll see on a normal Ranger. But yeah, these things are awesome. As you can see, carrying a lot of great speed here, and what I love about these is there's so many unique courses we can set up here at Evergreen Speedway, and that jump is awesome. I love seeing that. Cannot wait to see the photos that come out from this night of the Spec Ranger trucks as they're flying around this course right now. There's a great shot of Jonah Vick trying to hunt down the 27 of Shane Bear. And this is just such an exciting series. I mean, there's so much potential for this. There's a lot more trucks in the works right now. I mean, this was announced at the end of last year. Some of the guys got an early start on their trucks, and I'm sure as the series grow and more people see this, they're going to want to say, hey, I want to do that. And like we talked about, it's a pretty affordable series to get into. I mean, there's some different nuances that you're going to have to deal with when it comes to building these trucks, but overall, it's a pretty affordable class with these Rangers being pretty readily available.
Readily available and having replacement parts readily available as well. And that's part of what you've seen in the growth of racing divisions, not just in the Northwest, but across the country right now, is not only are the cars, or in this case trucks, available, but are parts available. It's part of the reason that Crown Vics have taken off in a lot of spots, right? Because there's just a bunch of them sitting out wherever it is. As Jonah Vick's making a bid for the lead, and he will take it over Bear. And like you said, I think a lot of people kind of had a wait-and-see attitude on some of this. Like, okay, what's this class going to look like now that it gets into action?
That's awesome.
And it's fairly cool down the front straightaway.
Big bouncing.
I like it. So you'll have more people going, you know, I got an old Ranger laying around. And dear Lord, there's a lot of old Ford Rangers laying around, right? So here's something to do with them. Look out, Bear slowing to a stop, coming around the hook there in the back straightaway.
Possibly some issues there. I mean, first race out, you're going to run into some issues, you know. It's first race of the year for these guys, first race ever for these guys, actually. But we're going to stay on Jonah Vick here as your race leader there in the 17. Also give a shout out to Whiteside Steel for the ramps, for sponsoring the ramps. As we're going to head to commercial here, as we'll be right back with some more Spec Ranger action here on Seattle 11.
Home Track Heroes continues here on Seattle 11 with the debut of the Spec Ranger trucks out here. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Kyler Hope. Our program is brought to you by All Ply Roofing. And here we are with 6 laps to go. Jalen Vick out in front of Kevin Kaufman in the 33 truck. Vick the 17 and making their debut, and got some more people through the division that need to be thanked, Kyler, to help get this whole thing together, because construction of these ramps and getting these trucks together was not easy for these drivers.
Yeah, exactly. We got Whiteside Steel providing the steel for the ramps, Bear Construction sponsoring the plywood for the ramps, as they've been put through the ringer so far. As you see right there, the 33 of Kevin Kaufman sliding his truck around there as they're side by side for the race lead, now heading back up onto the 3/8.
I like it. It's Raceline wheels that helped out with discounted steel wheels on these trucks?
That's correct, yep.
Okay, so, and you can see that the beating that these wheels are taking as we go live inside the Brandy Hood Promotions GoPro footage. We're going to get to watch Kaufman go ramp style once again as they come off the corner. He and Vick down the front straightaway. Jonah Vick, airborne. And Kaufman coming in here with him as we're down to 4 laps to go. And again, get another 10 of these guys out here. Absolute blast.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great watching this series grow over the next few years, and you guys are witnessing the first race of these guys, and it's awesome. Like you said, check them out on Facebook, Instagram, Spec Ranger Trucks, to figure out all you need to know about the series. You see the 33 of Kaufman sliding onto 3/8 banking. Not necessarily the fastest way around, but hey, it looks cool.
It looked fun, that's for darn sure. I like the fact that they left the rear brake lights intact, right? So you can see the guy in front of you slowing down a little bit is Matt Higginbotham. That is the 13 truck. Taking her easy and figuring things out. And again, they've had a couple of practice days, maybe one, in which to try to dial these things in. And there's probably a lot to dial in as far as this goes. No clue where to start with for air pressures or any of the small things that they can adjust, much less the air filter inside the cockpit, which, okay, different Shane Bear, but I like the innovation. Why not?
As you see the 27 get back around the 13 of Matt Higginbottom. Shane Barry pulled off earlier. Looked like he had maybe an issue. Maybe it was just a shifting issue. Not quite sure what happened there, but obviously back under power now and making the pass for 3rd place. Getting back up there on the podium, hanging a left into the infield here, and heads back towards the red. We just see Kevin Kaufman here right there in the 33.
Full send mode. And it has been fairly cool to watch the shifting going on in the cockpit, because this is road course action, so drivers having to get through the manual transmissions and get into the correct gear. I know a buddy who has a Ford Ranger truck just kind of laying around. I might need to get my hands on one of those.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Right? The Team Home Track Heroes Spec Ford Ranger truck.
Now we're talking.
Oh, man, I can't wait to put Todoroff in it. That'd be fantastic. From inside of Jonah Vick, and, you know, he's got the full digital display going on the left-hand side of it. Full safety gear as well. Very important. That's right. You should have full safety gear, Jonah, as I see his knees.
As you see the 17 taking off. The 33 Kevin Kaufman looked like we just a second ago had some issues, but we're right on board right now with Jonah Vick that you mentioned, seeing them shift and bounce around those vehicles. It's not an easy 10 laps. We said it was only a 10-lap race, but these guys are probably putting in more work than any of the drivers out the night. You see them shift there, going down to the back stretch into the tight left-hander once again, and coming around to the front straightaway for the final time. He's going to pass Kaufman there. Obviously, he's having some major issues on the 33.
Something busted, right? That happens. And somehow Bear has been able to unlap himself from everybody else and end up back in second. All right, I like it. Jonah Vick gets the inaugural Spec Ranger truck win. Here comes Bear at the very end. He might have to take the ramp as we go to the podium and watch Shane Bear take second.
You get to be one of the first ever drivers to tackle Spec Rangers here at Evergreen Speedway. What was that like tonight?
It was fun, a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to tomorrow night.
You had a good time out there, it looked like, driving that number 13 around. Who would you like to thank for tonight?
I want to thank, probably foremost, Vick Brothers Racing. They've helped us out through this whole process, and Shane Bayer Construction. Hands down, they've done everything for me, and then just family, wife, kids, everything.
Driver the number 13, Higginbotham, coming home third tonight. It's got to be a new feeling. Got the jump on the front stretch, the real interesting course I've heard some people call the fifth wheel. What was it like tackling Spec Rangers here?
It was good. I had a good time, and I'm glad all the trucks held up, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
You found some speed there at the end. Who would you like to thank for getting that truck out here?
Well, unfortunately, I did most of the work on the truck myself, so I don't have many people to thank on that aspect, but I do want to thank John Vick for putting this thing together and making it all happen, and the Vick Brothers Racing for helping put my truck back together when I broke it earlier. So mainly my thanks go out to the Vick family.
Second place finisher tonight in the Spec Rangers, Shane Bear. Well, first question, obviously. How's it feel to be the first Spec Rangers winner out here at Evergreen?
Feels great. Yeah. I don't really have much else to say other than it feels really good. Put a lot of work into the trucks, so it feels good to finally have it pay off.
Put a lot of work into the truck. Speaking of that, who would you like to thank for your performance out here tonight?
I got to thank my brother and my dad for putting tons of work into getting this series going, and my truck, and also for building the ramps. I got to thank Kevin and Doug and Tracy from the track here for letting us debut this series here. I got to thank Ronell from Whiteside Steel for providing the steel for the ramps. Raceline Wheels, Icon Shocks, Chris Corbett for putting a ton of work and getting the series going, helping us find partners. That's pretty much it.
Driver the number 17, first ever Spec Rangers winner, Jonah Vick.
Well, my apologies to Jonah Vick. That was not his bare legs in the truck. That was the white of the Simpson driver's suit. Jonah, my bad. I just thought maybe you were doing something silly and racing in shorts, but my bad. It is Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornet A-Main time. Jalen Morgan, who we just saw podium the B-Main, coming out to run the A. That's the 22 out of Arlington, sponsored by Gold Hammer LLC. Lexus Tubbs to the outside of Jalen. Adam Monroe, DL Enterprises, sponsors the 23. Caleb Williams, not the Chicago Bears quarterback, inside row number 2 from Gold Bar in the 50. And Mason Blodgett is the 43 out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Allied Motorsports.
They might be about the same height, though, right?
Ish.
Row number 3, you see the 4 at Taylor Thompson, Austin Homer, sponsored by Weather Right Roofing in the 14X. You see Jacob Levitt out of Buckley, sponsored by Cameron Iverson. Final row, 35J, Hawk Jenkins out of Maltby, sponsored by I Hit That Motorsports. And rounding out the field, 32, Sawyer Holden, sponsored by Weather Right Roofing. That is a tongue twister.
A little bit. Kyler, that is indeed a Porsche on the outside of row number 4.
Oh, the Porsche is back?
It is back,
oh,
yes.
I love the Porsche.
Sawyer Holden going exotic Euro sports car style here for our 20-ish lap Youth Hornet A main event in car from Mason Blodgett. Let's see, Blodgett going old school with the dials on the dash. I kind of like that. Very clean looking inside of that car, so made a good build there in the Blodgett mobile. So we're ready to go. Morgan and Tubbs, all female front row. See how long that can hang out as we are green. Ooh, I didn't even notice the air freshener tree in the Blodgett car. Look at that.
That's plus 10 horsepower, right?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, he's running dead last out of corner number 2 as Tubbs jumping to the early lead. Jenkins and the I Hit That Motorsports gets hit in turn number 2. Morgan makes contact, and after all the fun of the opening lap, we quickly go to caution.
Yeah, that's a tough way to start the race, you'd say.
I'd say so. Let's get a second look at it, though, because the first time was a bunch of fun. As rounded the corner, and now nose to nose.
On the brakes.
Blodgett. Yeah, nice stop. All right, from the front straightaway cam into the turn.
Overall, drivers did a really good job not making that worse than it was. I mean, on these starts, when there's so many drivers there, so you get bunched up really quickly. It could have been a lot worse, but riding on board there with Jalen Morgan, kind of got squeezed down the inside and really had nowhere to go.
Hawk Jenkins, from his perspective. Oh, hey, Jalen. How you doing? So we're going to have to try it all again. They'll restack them right back up. And again, it's a little more than a fifth mile. We've had to kick out that edge because we've got monster truck jumps and such like that. We will see some monster truck freestyle before this thing is all done tonight here on Home Track Heroes. Caleb Williams now has the pole. Lexus Tubbs going to be the outside of Caleb As you will see, Jacob Levitt and Hawk Jenkins buried a little further in the field. They are in the back row. Watch them try to pick their way up through. 20 times around the 5.5 mile oval. It's half.
I still don't think that's how fractions work.
Half a fifth is a 10th, right? So 1/5 plus a 10th mile oval. I'm not helping myself.
All right, back to the racing action here.
To the inside, Jenkins with a strong move to start picking his way through the field, as Tubbs quickly got around and down and is into the early race lead here. She is a former A-Main winner, so she has got one. She'll be in control of this A feature.
You see Hawk Jenkins down there in the bottom left, really slam on the brakes, being a little bit patient. Knows he got about 19 more laps to try to take over the race lead, but doesn't want to wait those 19 laps. Going to take it over here on lap 2. There's the 14X of Jacob Levitt trying to follow his tire tracks through into second. He will. It's new first and second place runners up here, as they were towards pretty far back in the pack to start this one after the restart, but they wasted no time getting back up there.
Jenkins has done enough of these at this point in time that he knows the safest place on the racetrack is always setting the pace and out front. Let him deal with slower traffic at the speed that he wants to. As coming up and through, you've got the 4 Taylor Thompson looking strong. Thompson, the 4 car, is in the 4th position and trying to close in on Tubbs in what will be the battle for 3rd.
Yeah, you saw a pretty big tire lockup from the 4 last time around in this corner. Doesn't do it this time, as Taylor Thompson trying to get used to carrying that much more speed into that north corner like we talked about earlier. It's just a little bit trickier, a little bit less of an angle. You can go a little bit faster, but sometimes the car's going to want to step out, or you're going to get on the brakes a little bit harder and they're going to lock up, and you saw tire smoke like that a couple times already with these kids. But overall, doing a great job handling this little bit different, a little bit trickier of a course here today.
Yeah, it makes that final left-hand corner out of what used to be 3 and 4 a big sweeper that you carry a lot of speed, and that is a narrow exit. If you keep all that speed from the 4th turn to the front straightaway, you really got to have good handle. So you're Holden showing that he's got that handle. He'll sneak underneath Thompson and take over position 4 in the battle for the top 3. There's the in-car on Holden, and he works to the outside now, or did, till Tubbs got away on the bottom coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, and with this backstretch being angled the way it is, it also allows these drivers to get on the throttle a little bit earlier and carry a little more speed into turns 1 and 2. So both ends of the track they're driving a little bit differently, as you see the 32 Holden trying to get to the outside and make it stick going down here into the North Pole, and trying to keep it nice and tidy around that corner, not carry too much speed. Like you said, that wall comes up quick, and going to make a great pass there around the outside and take over that 3rd spot, final spot on the podium.
You look at it too, with the way that back straightaway is angled, that speed that they have coming into 3, just like you said, is massively enhanced over what it normally is. Top 3, Jenkins, Levitt, and Holden right now, and we've got to thank Nelson Motorsports in Snohomish. They offer a full-service sales and repair shop. Great prices on ATVs, quads, go-karts, motocross bikes, scooters, golf carts, and more. Make Nelson Motorsports your one-stop center for motorized ATV fun.
As we take a look in here with the race leader, 35J, Hawk Jenkins, trying to put a few more cars a lap down, working their way forward. Huge lead, very comfortable, but again, you just want to get out front and stay where it's safe. So it's never one caution, can erase your whole lead. You just want to kind of get as far out there, keep your lead going, and still got another 9 laps to go. So anything can happen here in Hawk Jenkins' race.
The nice thing for Jenkins is that we haven't been talking about Jacob Levitt, him trying to close the gap on the 35 by and large. When we flash to Hawk just like this, Levitt has been nowhere to be seen. So he's got a comfortable pad right now. There's Levitt. You can see him tucked in behind the 22 of Morgan, but taking a couple extra seconds to make the pass, and every bit of time he spends doing that is more time for Jenkins to run away.
There's that 14X of Levitt we were just talking about. Being patient with the lap cards, which is what you have to do, as they're trying to get to the inside here, and does that just fine. Jacob Levitt clear through now, no cars between him and the race leader. Got to put together 5.5 good laps right here to try to hunt down Hawk Jenkins, but it seems like as long as something happens at 35, smooth sailing for him. Get to the race win here in front of a huge crowd.
You know, this is kind of random and weird, as we're going to look at the inside of the Taylor Thompson car. Taylor working on the 23 of Tubbs, but if we get another look at cockpit design on the 14 of Levitt, I do love the horizontal bar that's coming up and through the cage, that kind of diagonal style, very old school as far as rolled cage construction goes, and you don't see it on four-cylinder cars anymore. I remember guys using to rest their arms on that when they weren't shifting. They'd drive one-handed, leave it there, and then reach down to shift when they didn't have anything going on.
Well, yeah.
Old school and cool.
Yeah, why would you drive with two hands on the wheel when you can just shift right there, have a nice little armrest, and just hang out?
It's nice.
Way more comfortable.
It's a nice casual drive here on Home Track Heroes, right?
We've seen some drivers with big enough leads where they could easily treat it like a nice Sunday drive. We got 2 laps to go here for Hawk Jenkins as there's the 32 of Sawyer Holden and really hunting down the 14X of Jacob Levis. We're going to have a nice battle here for second here with just a lap and a half to go.
Time is ticking away. They go really quick on the short course here. 1 to go for Jenkins. He'll take the white flag as he's trying to put a lap on Blodgett in the 43. He'll successfully do that, coming up on the back of the 50 of Williams. This has been Hawk Jenkins' main, and he will prove that forward. Checkered flag as Hawk gets the W. Congratulations to him.
Spin and win for Hawk Jenkins. There's the battle for second we're talking about. Sawyer Holden's going to try to get turned back around and finish in third. Jacob Levitt takes home second. Holden's going to get there for the final spot on the podium.
All right, Sawyer, good run tonight. Third place. That was quite an eventful race for you guys. What's it like racing with the monster truck tonight?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, had to make your way full field for you tonight. Who do you want to thank for helping you get out here today?
My Nana, my Papa, Brian Estrin, Dakota Grishala, and Taylor Thompson, and Holden Development Group.
All right, let's give it up. Third place, Sawyer Holden. Jacob, good run tonight. Second place. What's the most fun thing about getting to race a youth, the Hornet?
That you get seat time and you're able to drive.
It's definitely fun to get out there going fast. Who do you want to thank for helping you be so fast?
God, my mom, Dad, the Iversons, Faith and Victory, and Rev Up Energy.
All right, let's give it up. Second place, Jacob Levitt. Hawk, quite the race tonight, but you come out on top. How does it feel to be back to the victory lane?
It feels good, especially what was going on earlier today with our cars.
You had to work through it a lot. Who always helps you get out here in the Youth Hornet?
My mom, my dad, especially Hunter. He helps with everything, and he owns a lot of the stuff at the shop. First line printing, Rish printing, Protec and instruction.
All right, let's give it up. Your A-main winner, Hawk Jenkins.
Home Track Heroes moving forward. Bump to pass time. A mini bump to pass time here on our Seattle 11 program, brought to you by All Ply Roofing. He's Skylar Hope. I am Caleb Hart. These bump to pass races, whether they're small cars or big cars, have always been adventurous, and we'll see how adventurous our drivers want to be here. Jacob Funk, yeah, that is one of the most chaotic run-into-thing drivers you're going to find anywhere. He's got the pole and the American flag, number 8 car. Devin Jenkins, 195. Of course, Jenkins, that's the guy hit that motorsports group of cars, so you know there's chaos coming there. Elijah Whitney's the 187. Next to Whitney, that is the 27 of Annalise Smith, so they make up your first couple of rows of this.
Then we see in row 3 the 01 of Tanner Bjornsson, the 24 of Scott Kiesling. Next row, you got the 02 of Blake Williams. Then 39, Andrew Zachary up there outside of row number 4.
And the back of the field, it's going to be the 59 of Tegan Bjornsson, the 56 of Brittany Muma, and the 17 of Blaine Muma. So as they all start to file into line, bump to pass mini style. Now, this is the important thing about bump to pass. They're going 15 laps. They're going around again this kind of extended 5th mile that we have.
1/5 and a half.
Yeah, the 5th plus the 10th. On top of that, bump to pass is exactly that. You don't have to crash them. You just have to run into them to get by them. So, yeah, make contact.
To the name. Yeah.
You don't have to wallop them.
But you can.
You can, absolutely. But you are supposed to make at least some form and fashion of contact. That could be a door scrape, that could be a bumper tap, that could be a full-on take them around off of the corner panel, stay in the car, don't get out and start beating on the car. That doesn't count as a bump. Either way.
You will get booed if you pass cleanly in this division. It's very, very different than what you're used to, but when you come to the racetrack here and you see someone make a clean pass, you boo them. That's the rule here at Evergreen Speedway, and it's awesome seeing so much youth in this class right now because I see Devin Jenkins, Tanner Bjornsson, Tegan Bjornsson, a lot of ex-Youth Hornet drivers making their way up and running this. This is awesome to see as we get ready for, what, 15 laps of chaos?
That's about what it usually is. So, and it gets hard to score this, by the way, so we'll try to keep you verbally aware of who's where and who's in the lead. We generally kind of know who the leader is, and sometimes we don't. As let's take a look. We'll go in car with Blake Williams, the Brandy Hood Promotions shot. Thank you to her, and of course the Hops.
Oh, going around already.
Yep, there we go. Whoop. As they do such great work in helping us out. Oh, I like that. It's the Slamco 54. Do you see that?
That's perfect. With the lights on, everything. That's sweet.
We also don't
locking up the tires.
Oh, look out. 187 of Elijah Whitney driving the Slamco.
That was a bump to not pass right there. That was some defensive bumping. I don't think I've seen that before.
Well, it says 54, but we don't have a 54, so now we got to figure out who that is.
Was it maybe a 56, one of the Mumas?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's fine. All right, we know that's Bjornsson in the 01.
Oh, I was expecting the Dukes of Hazzard 01.
Normally it's the Dukes of Hazzard 01.
Ran out of orange paint?
The general lead. This thing's gray. It can be sneakier. It's the same color of the pavement. You can't see it coming as well.
Is this the Major League? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
Major League, he's spinning somebody out at the moment as he just turned around Andrew Zachary.
That's a scary look right there. Just looking back at everyone else's windshields coming at you. As the 02 also is around again for the second time so far.
Andrew, buddy, we got to get you some gloves.
So there, that purple car right there on the center screen, that's the leader, Jacob Funk right now. As we're about a third of the way done. As was that fluid pouring out on the cars? That's not good. It's going to make for some more excitement, though.
God, I hope so. There's Bjornsson working to the inside. That's Annalise Smith.
Oh,
and
Canada.
he will go by. Look out, Annalise. Okay, now you got to tag her to get by her. We lost it. Bjornsson doing all right, trying to hunt down Muma in the Brittany Muma in the 56.
That's a 17 right there.
That's Blaine Muma.
Okay. Started dead last, making some great progress so far.
And running without a hood. He's brave.
I mean, you don't really need aero on the 1/5 and 10th mile.
There's our second dangly thing from a mirror over the course of the night. That is not a smelly tree. That is something else.
Whoa, getting turned around. Sparks flying. Cars going everywhere. Tanner Bjornsson working the wheel. What a great in-car shot that was, watching the 01 and Tanner Bjornsson really having to work hard. Kept the car straight. Absolute chaos down the front stretch there.
Bjornsson's out there selling T-shirts is what's happening. Okay, so the
big hit there.
So that's Brittany Moom in the 54. So that other, that 50, I don't know who that other one is. I don't know who the Slamco car is.
So that's a 59 right there? That's Tegan Bjornsson right there at 59.
All right, Tegan Bjornsson. Yeah, that guy's selling T-shirts. I need one of those immediately. Coming off the corner.
Oh, no, your race leader.
Jacob Funk.
Get fired back up.
Bump to pass Jacob Funk. All right, does that mean Brittany Mova just took the lead?
No, I think that's second place right there.
Okay,
yep,
right there.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's Blaine in 17.
All right.
He started dead last, like I said. He is flying in with the purple lights coming after you. It's some purple on purple action right now.
With all that speed, this is going to be violent, especially coming up on slower traffic.
Oh, locks it up. Keep it going straight.
Save it.
Someone go straight.
Save it. Swimming like a fish.
Oh, no, the 8 car. That's your race leader. Slowed way up. New pass race leader. I think he's got a flat tire.
But he hit him. Mooma hit him getting by. It was a legal pass. We're all right there. All right, so Blaine Mooma's got the lead. Here's Annalise Smith. Look out.
Wall. Canada.
Wall comes up quick.
Yeah.
Kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Around goes the 39 of Andrew Zachary.
About a foot shorter than it used to be.
What's that say in the hood?
I see Fury. I'm not sure what the rest of it says. There's your race leader. You know, hey, you got to bump the lap cars when you pass them too, right?
Did it say Igloo Fury? Because that would have been fantastic. Who's living in an igloo? All right, 3 to go. And they're going quick as they're coming up on the 02 of Blake Williams. I don't think I've seen anybody tag Williams really hard yet.
He's been around twice. Not hard, but he's been around twice.
Brittany Mooma, and here comes Bjornsson. Oh, gets by clean. Sad. Although he's got the safety lights on, right? That's fair. 2 to go.
That's quite the bash bar for a 4-cylinder, too.
Only the best in bash bars. As we're coming into 1 to go, Devin Jenkins looking for an innocent victim. Anywhere? Possibly. 1 left. Mooma slows, picks it back up. As coming to try to take a piece out of him is Blaine Williams. Nice work, Blaine.
Jenkins slows way up to get the 27 here. Nice little spin there on the 27.
Around goes Annalise again. And to the win. Mini bump to pass victory goes to Blaine Muma. I'm going to assume that Bjornsson is second. No idea who's third, but we'll see who it is. We'll, I don't know, let's kick things down. It'll be Ben, it'll be Derek, it'll be somebody on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium with your top three.
All right, Tanner, bringing out that new mini bump to pass car. First question, you got a nickname yet? You got a special gimmick with that car, or are we gonna wait on that one?
You know, I have no idea what I'm gonna do for it. I might paint it like my Hornet car for the General League, but we'll see.
Chasing down a lot of drivers who've had some experience in this class. Who helps you get out here with that 01?
A lot of people. I gotta thank a lot. I mostly gotta thank my dad. He spent all this week just trying to help me build my car just to get it finished for today. My brother, my mom, stepmom, my grandma, Whiteside Steel, Steely Auto Parts, Olympic Embroidery, Beast Fab and Tuning. I'm blanking.
Driver of the number 01, Tanner Bjornsson, third place tonight. Scott, chaotic race as always, but great to have you out here at Evergreen Speedway. How'd you feel in that one?
A lot of fun.
I mean, it's got to be, right? You keep coming out here to do it, mini bump to pass. It's got to be just so much fun. Who would you like to thank for getting that car out here?
My girlfriend, Clayton, for loaning me the truck. So, yeah. And Braven Metals. So.
Hey, short and sweet, that works out. Driver the number 24, second place tonight, Scott Kiesling. Now, I've seen on Facebook you've been really excited to get back out here in that number 17, that flying purple people eater. Ran your way straight to the front, looked like you were having the time of your life. What was it like out there?
It is definitely a total change compared to the car I've had for the last 2 seasons, but the last 4 months has definitely been well worth the long nights, no sleep, and just getting after it.
Hey, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Who would you like to thank for that 17?
Definitely 2 of the teammates, Blake Williams, Jacob Thornborough. They have spent countless nights with me trying to get these cars done. Kier San Felipe Foundation, my lovely wife that raced as well tonight, and all my family.
Driver the number 17, your winner in mini bump to pass, Blaine Muma.
Well, mini bump to pass in the books. We'll go back to some circle tracking, but we'll hit the 3/8s here for the first time, the 3/8 circle track, with the all-ply roofing legends coming up. 22-car field, 30 laps. Your lineup looks like this. Joe Decker's got the pole. He drives the 86 car out of Duval and sponsored by Lewis and Maine to his outside. Shane Sawin in car number 4 out of Snohomish, sponsored by Mr. Dizzy Motorsports. Row number 2 is Jaden Luce. It's the 19 car out of Issaquah, sponsored by Mom and Dad. And outside row number 2, the 11 of Danny Arnold out of Puyallup, sponsored by Northern Environmental.
Starting 5th, you see the 68 of Kaylee Decker out of Duval, sponsored by Lewis and Maine. Her outside, 15D Davis Jacobson's out of Wilkinson, sponsored by the Truck Stop. Next row, 27 Dakota Gruchal out of Snohomish, sponsored by Apex Home Services. Then you got the 40 car, sponsored by Mountain Equipment. That's Samantha Schwartz out of Mercer Island.
Inside row number 5 is Brayden Wager out of Camino Island, the Dirt Cheap Sewer 30B. To his outside, the 13 of Jeremiah Johnson from Linwood, sponsored by LB Motorsports. Row behind them, the 20 of Damian Harris out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Flowmaster Gutters. To his outside, the 11M of Rick McNeil from Bellevue, sponsored by Optimus Construction.
Then making his return to Legend Racing, that is a 33 of Kyle Lang out of Snohomish, Washington, sponsored by Phillips Law Firm. His outside, 76C Josh Vlock out of Edmonds. Next row, we got the 10 of Jeff Holden, sponsored by Weather Right Roofing. His outside, it's the 42A Piper Alton out of Port Angeles, sponsored by Mom, Dad, Aunt, and Uncle.
The next row behind them is the 86X of Jeff Muller out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Thermotech. The 55 of Belleville Luce outside of him from Issaquah. Ian Humphreys is the 55 out of Renton, Masonator Racing Car. And Grayson Miller is the 21 out of Puyallup, sponsored by Veterans Roofing.
Final row, you got the 29G of Brian Grant, sponsored by Unknown Tattoo out of Mulvey. And final spot on the grid is the 9 car Adriana Camp out of Monroe, sponsored by the Legal Umbrella, as we get ready for some Legend action. First time, like you said, on the 3/8s this weekend, as it is going to get exciting here really quick with this many Legend cars on track.
22 cars for 30 laps around. This should be interesting as they are usually tightly packed. These are fast little twitchy cars, so little mistakes get exacerbated, especially on the 3/8 mile and especially with a very big field. Joe Decker, Shane Sawin down the front row, and the green is out. We're underway.
Going 3 wide early in this one. It's a very wide track, so you can do 3 wide a lot, but you still have to try to be a little bit patient as we ride on board with the 19 of Jaden Luce.
So Luce trailing and following Decker here in the early going. It's Decker, Luce, and Sawin. Jaden making the bid to the bottom and tries to make the pass out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, wheel to wheel and side by side into 3. And Luce now has your lead 2 laps into this. Our segment and our show brought to you by Granite Construction, proud sponsor of our Super Sprint Car Series, a world leader in construction industry. Granite Construction, an award-winning company, a great place to work. Looking for a career change? Find your dream job today at graniteconstruction.com.
As we get an up-close look here on the battle for second now, Shane Sawin in that blue number 4 car trying to take over that second spot from Decker. Going to dive it in deep into turn number 1, able to make that stick here early in the race, as there's got a lot of fast cars coming behind him as he wanted to get around that 86 car early of Joe Decker, as he able to do so. And now as clear sailing, can kind of calm down for a little bit and just put together some good laps and try to hunt down that 19 of Jaden Luce. As we look right here, the battle for third is tightly packed up and they're racing hard nose to tail, as we see the 11 now trying to advance forward. That's the 11 of Danny Arnold.
Arnold having a really good run here as he's right up on the back of Decker coming off the corner at high speeds. Decker, you see him, he sails it hard into the corner. This is the first time he hadn't really pushed out wide coming out of turn number 2, as he's trying to hang on to third. Arnold in behind him, Wager in the 5th spot, as things awfully tight 3 through 6 coming off the turn.
Yeah, really tight racing here. It's like we talked about, always such great racing there. As you see Braden Wager dive down to the inside, Dakota Gruchala back there for pass for about 6th or 7th right now, as these cars are, they put on such a good show. They're so tightly packed together, such great racing. As there you see the 40 is Sam Schwartz trying to get to the inside there. Dakota Gruchala as trying to follow tire tracks of Braden Wager down there in turn number 1.
Wager looking for space around. Caution flag is out on the racetrack for the 29. Brian Grant, former street stock driver, if I remember right, as he's around on the back straightaway. And let's get a look at how it happened from the Ian Humphreys cam. How about from Camp? And oh yeah, Camp's got a real good view of Grant getting sideways. So with that, we're going to take a commercial break. We will come back. We've got more of the All-Ply Roofing Legends coming up next as you're tuned to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. We are 7 laps into the All-Ply Roofing Legends main event here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Kyler Hope. Of course, Home Track Heroes brought to you week in and week out by All-Ply Roofing. Huge thanks to them. They've been such a gigantic supporter of the show this year. Wouldn't be able to do it without them. Kyler, 7 eventful laps so far. Already seen a lean change, and we have seen a lot of bumpered up racing early on in this.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've seen drivers already making great strides forward. Braden Wager in the 30B car, definitely a car to keep your eye on. The 33 of Kyle Lang making his return to Legends. Going to want to keep your eye on him as well as they work their way through this pack. Is a great launch there from the 19-year race leader Jaden Luce, as Shane Sawin's going to squeeze his way down to the inside, hang on to that second spot, and let everyone else battle out behind them.
Danny Arnold strung up on the high groove down low. Joe Decker, they're wheel to wheel for position number 3 as they rock it down the front straightaway. And you can see that outside line doing a really good job of hanging tough with the inside line. We're side-by-side racing through a lot of this pack.
Yeah, Legends put on such a great show here. One of the bigger tracks you'll see Legends race out across the country, very high speed, and they do a great job putting on a good show here at Evergreen Speedway on the 3/8 miles. We ride on board with the 27 Dakota Gruchala. That's the purple and gray car there on the left of your screen. Working hard on the outside, trying to get forward past Braden Wager. She's going to fall in line right here for now. Nope, we're going to stick to the outside still.
Well, watch and see if Dakota can make the move. We'll tell you the Monroe Grocery Outlet, your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 70% less than the traditional grocery stores. See Terry and Linda at the Monroe Grocery Outlet.
and we saw Dakota be able to drop in line there behind Braden Wager. That's a car I'd want to follow if I was out there running these legend cars. Braden always so fast and really, really patient driver, knows when to make the right move as he looks to the inside right there. Decker trying to take over about the 5th or 6th spot, as he's got Davis Jacobson just not far in front of him inside with a 15.
Yeah, Jacobson's been solid, been up in that top 5 for a lot of the race, just cutting his laps. Now he's going to have Wager, who has a feature win on the season, under his belt, coming up from behind him to try to crack his way into that top 5. Wager was your points leader coming into racing action. Him and Luce have been up near the top of the standings all year long, as we've got another caution flag.
Oh, 29 again, Brian Grant. Tough day. These legends, they're tough to drive. Maybe got a little bit loose there on the entrance there into turn number 1. It's kind of where the transition of the track is, so really easy for the weight shift to change, and you just get a little bit loose and go around from the drone way on the other side of the track.
Yeah, there's that good-looking Elevate Racing Media drone shot, says Ian Humphreys from the back bumper. We've seen a couple of spins from the back bumpers of Ian Humphreys here so far, so chance for the drivers to settle down, catch their breath, reassess. They're going to double them up once again here, as we have got 12 in and 18 to go. A lot of laps left. Jaden Luce out in front. Solon in the 2 spot. Arnold and Decker will resume their battle for 3rd.
Yeah, and that's going to put Brian Wager on the outside here. So last few restarts he's been on the inside. Be interesting to see what he's able to do with the outside momentum. Maybe stick it in there 3 wide with 18 laps to go, almost halfway. Got to start pushing the button a little bit and not let these fast cars get out front and check away.
And for those drivers who are running an even number of driving spots, this 2x2 restart a huge advantage for them. You know, it's relatively tough to get alongside somebody here in this Legend division, so you've given them a lot of free track space. Now it's up to them to make it count, as once again down the front straightaway, Luce and Solon, and we will see Solon check up just enough to get down into the low groove and secure that 2nd spot. He hasn't really carried the outside in that corner very far to challenge Luce. It seems like he's more than happy to try to pull it down and run him down for the 2nd.
Yeah, I think he knows there might be another caution or two. I think that's the 11 of Rick McNeil going around, but I think he's trying to be a little more cautious and trying to bide out his time and not show his hand too early, as the 53 is involved, 13 as well. So a couple cars getting collected. Doesn't look like too big of damage there, as it looks like it was the 11 of Rick McNeil. A little bit of contact there with the 10 of Jeff Holden, and they all get stacked up. Do a fairly good job not to tear anything up too bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Holden got through that without tearing that car up at all. He just slowed her down, snuck her through as the right rear of McNeil came across his left. And you see about 4 other 5 cars involved. Here's from Humphrey's point of view. We see a lot of action from the Humphreys GoPros, and saved himself a lot of damage. Here's Holden, the former TA2 champion, as
just that tire contact sent the 11 around there. Tough break. Is some cars on the inside there. Looks like that was V-Lock, pretty heavy contact. I think he might have got the worst of it. That gray car down on the inside, so tough look there. Here's Adriana Camp. As you see, I think that's V-Lock there in the gray car right in front of him. Yep, one car goes around. They get hooked together. Oh, yeah. Oh, airborne right there. That's never fun.
Bella Luce got a big portion of that wreck as well. So 5-6 cars involved. That'll thin out the back of the field just a little bit, and didn't get a whole lot of time in. So still, you know, half this race to go for the leaders to come out and get her all decided. Still 2x2 again, and it's about round 4 of Luce versus Solon in the front row. But again, we've seen this play out enough. If you're Danny Arnold or Joe Decker, you kind of have an idea. If you can stick on the back bumper of Jaden Luce here, Shane Solon's not going to have a place to pull that car down into, and you're going to force him to run the outside longer than it appears he wants to.
Exactly, yeah. We'll see if the young Danny Arnold in that 11 car 2nd row inside is able to get a little bit better of a launch here. He's had a few practice runs now, so you see he's able to stick to that back bumper of Jaden Luce and try to follow him through and take over that 2nd spot. We're going to ride on board with Braden Wager here. As, yep, right there, huge jump there from the 11 of Danny Arnold, able to stick to the inside of Shane Solomon, just like you said. He's going to look at a great chance coming off turn number 2 for that 2nd spot.
Danny Arnold, he knew the playbook. He's executing it pretty well here. Solomon forced to carry the middle. He's got some speed coming off the turn. Let's see if he can stick with it. Nope, he's going to fade in and back and look to cross underneath, going into the first turn. can't get under there, and it is Arnold in position 2.
And look who's in 4th. That's right there on your screen, the 15, Davis Jacobson. He has impressed me so much over the years here at Evergreen Speedway, and he's just one of those drivers that's learned a lot. Well, we got contact with the race leaders, into the wall hard. That's the 19, and upside down goes the 11 of Danny Arnold. Just giving him such high praise, and the announcer's curse is going to take out your top 2 in a very scary wreck here on the front straightaway at Evergreen Speedway.
Speedway officials down to check on the 11 of Arnold and Luce, who had led every lap of this one together. Let's watch it again coming off the corner, and Jaden pushed wide. Arnold saw his shot, and unfortunately for both your first and second place drivers, there it is.
That is a vicious hit by the 19 of Luce, and like you said, just 19 got a little bit loose off the corner here. You might be able to see it just wiggles right there, and yeah, tough break there. That's such a hard hit. That's one of the toughest hits you'll see in a Legend car.
The car upside down gets the attention because, hey, cars are not supposed to be upside down. However, it was Luce really pummeling that wall, something serious. Let's watch from a little bit further behind. Oh, gosh.
Strong hit and gets toppled over right there. Yeah, that's never what you want to see from a competitor's point of view.
And I'll say this, it's one of these things on a wreck like this. Watch the car when it comes to a stop. You can see Arnold's car held together pretty well. The front end of Luce, though, they have...
Here we go.
Yeah, so watch the front end of this car crumple as he comes off. Started getting loose. There's your contact. Wow.
Yeah, there you see it absorbed a lot of the impact there, which is going to help the driver. Tough look there. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Well, and from what I'm told, you can clip a Legend. So, front clip a Legend. That should be backing up there.
Slow-mo right there. All 4 tires off the ground.
Wow.
Great job by the rest of the field to avoid the 19 spin back in front right there.
Okay, so one more time. Here's from Luce's perspective. Slow down the impact into the wall. That makes me sore just watching it.
That is a vicious hit, to say the least. There you see both drivers out. They're talking. They're smiling a little bit. That's got to be a tough break there. Seeing your cars like that, they're shake hands there. I mean, no hard feelings, awesome. Like you said. I mean, just a racing deal. There was no contact from behind. Just you saw Jaden there get a little bit loose, and yeah, it's just tough when you're battling for the lead like that.
You know, the number one thing on any race car is that the driver gets out and walks away under his own power, right? For everything. Cars and parts are replaceable, people are not. So that's the best thing you can watch come from that. And sign of sportsmanship between the two, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why we stress safety equipment so much on the show, and seeing proper safety equipment and how well some of these cars are built is because you never know when something like that could happen here.
So Shane Salwin gets the lead. Kaylee Decker now sits second. Davis Jacobson third. It was Samantha Schwartz really coming through the field on that last restart. She's up in fourth on this restart with Gruchala and Wager. They're in row 4. I think row 3, is that McNeil? It is.
Kyle Lang.
Kyle Lang in the 33.
Who are on board with on the right-hand side, thanks to Brandy Hood Promotions, is, yeah, Kyle Lang, I think he's in a Rick McNeil car, because that looks very similar to what Rick drives.
It's just very much not a 33 number, which is confusing me. So be it. All right, out in front, Salwin down on the bottom. You'll see him push wide off the corner and secures the lead. Now Jacobson burying it in down on the bottom as he's looking for second, trying to shuffle Decker backwards. Davis Jacobson, like you said, has been having a great number. Okay, now it looks more like a 33. Thank you, Kyler.
You just have to zoom in a little bit for us.
Right. Zoom out. Enemy of all race car announcers. As down the front straightaway, Salwin, Jacobson, now Schwartz for third. Yeah, looks like she may have her coming off the turn.
Yeah, another driver doing a great job tonight is Gruchala there. Been battling really hard in that 27 car just to the right of the frame here. Been stuck on the outside majority of these restarts, just has not had a place to get down, but doing a great job hanging here with some of the top drivers here on Legend Series. Like you said, championship points leader right in front of her.
You want us to talk about a guy who's hating these restarts? It seems like Wager is getting the short end of the stick on nearly every one. He wants to see this race get out and stay green for a while. He almost has a chance to go 2 for 1 here as Lang pushed up just enough. It's going to force Decker out of the way. Wager cannot quite get to the inside of Lang to make another pass.
Yeah, and Gruchala is all over the back bumper of that 30B car, so Gruchala doing a great job moving her way forward and trying to stay right there with one of the fastest guys on the field of Braden Wager. It is tight battle right here. You see Damian Harris there in the 20 car, second year out, I think, in the Legend, and he's doing a great job there in the white 20, keeping everything nice and clean right there. He's got a side-by-side Decker battle right in front of him.
If I remember seeing it right, Harris is still short of 14 years old. I believe he's a 13-year-old out there. So one of the youngest drivers as he shows the right front to the inside of Kaylee Decker's black and green 60 car. And Damian in the white number 20 will make the pass. We're watching ahead, and there's the move by Wager to the inside of Lang. Side by side through the apex of the turn and coming off the bottom of turn number 2. Finally, Braden Wager starting to build some momentum with an extended green flag run here.
Yeah, Grichala getting in the back of Kyle Lang there, trying to get it a little bit bump, push him out wide of the line so she can stick to the inside. Just not quite the luck right there, as now we look back up with your top 3. Samantha Schwartz trying to battle and take over the race lead from Shane Sawin in the 4.
Samantha looking for win number 1 here in the All-Ply Roofing Legends. Sneaking around the back. Sawin's got feature wins here on the year, not just in the Legends, but many-time feature winner at Evergreen Speedway. He's doing a good job playing some defense. Schwartz trying to figure it out. We go in car with Wager, a couple of spots back and looking to pick his way forward.
Yeah, and I think Sam Schwartz was one of the drivers a few years ago who ended up on her lid as well in the Legend car going down the back straightaway during the fair. So she's definitely learning a lot, coming a long ways. Doesn't want to see drivers like she just saw get upside down. She's been in that position before, and now she's trying to battle for the race win here around Shane Sawin, one of the few veterans in the field. This is a field of youngsters right now. He's being sworn by him.
Well, take a look too. Wager's actually able to drive that car a half groove lower than most of the rest of the field right now. You see him doing that and making the pass. He is down low, and Schwartz opens it up just enough off of 2. Wager not enough speed to get there. They're all stacked up on the bottom, but Wager kind of making his way through with 6 to go. What can he do?
Yeah, I think Shane Sawin has more starts than the 5 kids behind him combined.
I would agree. It's Wager for 2nd. Schwartz stuck on the high groove. Braden's got the right front to the left rear. He's not quite up to the numbers yet. As Samantha trying to make it difficult on him, not leaving him a lot of space, but just enough for him to get in there with 5 to go. Make it 4 as they cross the line, and a 3-car duo for the lead.
Sam is doing such a great job on the outside there, not giving Braden the room that he wants to be able to drift up and outside and get the ideal line that he wants in these corners and coming down the straightaway. She's doing a great job kind of pinching him down, keeping him a little bit lower, not letting him get the throttle as much as he wants, but I think as we got debris flying down the front stretch, that's going to be a little bit distracting for these drivers, but Sam's doing such a great job carrying that outside momentum. It's so hard to do here at Evergreen Speedway. She's doing a phenomenal job there on the outside.
Make it a 3-car trio for the lead, not a duo. That was abundantly stupid, I think. Sawin down the straightaway. Wager in front of Schwartz, down to the low side, going into 1. Shows the wheel, wow, all the way under the white line. But they're side by side down the back straightaway.
I think I saw the 27 possibly get spun around. Hopefully gonna keep it going. More contact there between your top 2. Shane really trying to pinch the 30 car down as he's gonna get loose there, coming to the white flag as now we see Sam trying to follow the tire tracks through. Shane trying to pinch her as well. More contact between them, as that's gonna put Shane outside of a transfer spot, or outside of a podium spot, I mean, as he's gonna dive it in deep there, trying to stick it around. David Jacobson going through to 2nd. Great finish for him. Braden Wager, your race winner. Wow, what a finish. Sam Schwartz rounds out the podium. What a phenomenal top 3 right there, as Braden Wager shows why he's a points leader and was able to slide his way through. I don't think Shane really did himself any favors trying to pinch him down, as he just got loose and shot the track there, but great racing here in the Legends division.
Wow, it got physical.
Oh,
a lot of those
it's
spots.
Still getting physical.
Hello.
Look to your right, that's your race leader spun around.
Okay, and that is the 4 of Shane Sawin over there.
Well, if you put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, you know what? We have some awesome Seattle 11 cameras, and let's see it. Let's watch and see what happens.
So there's your race winner, and Shane just comes and, oh, wow, that's heavy contact there between them 2.
Can't quite say that's incidental, can you?
Now, here's Braid on the cooldown lap.
Yep. As
he's got his hands off the wheel, too, and that's, oh, wow, that's so dangerous when his hands are off the wheel like that. Oh, wow.
Has to gather it back together. Quickly pops it into gear, comes up.
Wow, such great job there by Braden to handle that so well. I mean, he could have done a lot of things there, and he's going to go through and just celebrate, ignore him, and do some donuts. Why not, Braden? You deserve it, man. Great race.
Well, this finish was fascinating. A lot of spots changed hands in a big hurry. We've got to take a break. When we come back from break, we will hear from your top 3. Podium's coming up after the commercial break for the All-Ply Legends.
You were in a great battle there for a long time. Then a chaotic couple final laps. You held your cool. You come home 3rd. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. The car felt really good all day. And yeah, it was really crazy trying to like dodge everyone and see what happened. I don't know. It was kind of crazy.
You think you got Braden next time?
Oh yeah, I'm coming for you.
Who would you like to thank for your performance out here tonight?
Mountain Equipment, Sharp Transportation, Ricky and Julie Arnold, and my mom and dad.
Driver the number 40, Samantha Schwartz. It's been really cool watching that maroon and gold 15D make its way up to the front time after time. You start a little bit further back each time thanks to the invert, but you've gotten really good at navigating traffic. Do you agree with that one?
Yeah, I'm just trying to avoid all the wrecks out there and just stay consistent.
How do you navigate that traffic so well and keep those iron veins?
I mean, as long as I've got a car that can allow for it, it's nice to just be able to kind of cruise around, you know. If there's anything happening in front of me, I can just kind of, you know, think about it before it happens.
Hey, fair enough. Who would you like to thank for coming home second tonight?
First of all, I have to thank Travis Bliven with Premier Performance Legends for making my car fast. And for getting here to the track, I have to thank Evergreen Concrete Cutting, the Truck Shop, Casket Automotive, Flanders Login Service, and Grandma and Grandpa.
Driver the number 15D, Davis Jacobson, second place tonight. Bold and brave move there. Going into that final couple laps, you showed what you got, and it was pretty fun to watch. Do you agree with that one?
Oh, yeah. I had a real fast car. I mean, that thing was rolling all day, and there was an open window, so I took it, and well, I just played out the rest of the race.
You feeling pretty good about your chances this point in the season? You've been putting on a good show, good show, good show. Think to keep it consistent?
All I can do is hope for no bad luck and keep going on my little situation and just hope for better, just to get better and keep going.
I know you got a lot of people back in the pits helping you out. Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Francisco and Colin King, Dirt Cheap Sewers, Ava Cannon Real Estate, Blue Collar LLC, Big Guna Fishing, Nexus Fab, Joe's Racing Products, DeYoung Inc., Central Welding Supply, Countryman Signs, and my mom and my dad.
The 30B, your race winner, Braden Wager.
Well, yeah, that's going to be a win to remember for Braden Wager. What do you think? Yeah. Goodness gracious, as if there wasn't enough physicality at the end of that race. One of the divisions known for using a bumper or two. It is time for the Chain Lake Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8s going to the Figure 8 track. Your lineup looks like this. Nick Holden making his season debut out of Marysville. MCA Creations sponsors the 67. Haley Wilkinson, car rebuilt next to him out of Lake Stevens. Cobalt Cycles sponsors the 35. Row 2's Bruce Beeler, the 13 out of Tacoma, sponsored by Black Thunder Transport. And the JE55, that spells Jessica Wilkinson out of Marysville, sponsored by Pilchuck Heating and Air Conditioning.
And starting fifth, that's the 83G of Zach Larson, sponsored by Brundage Bone Concrete and Pumping. Is outside 676, that's Ricky Dietz out of Arlington, sponsored by Tire Pros of the Tire Pro Shop of Arlington. Next row, we got a 51 of Ryan Clark out of Granite Falls, sponsored by Action Machine. Next row, or out to his outside, that's 74, Chris Curtis out of Tulalip, sponsored by Bulldog Haven Northwest.
Row number 5 to 9, Dakota Wilkinson out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Tony V's Garage. To his outside, Jamie Corbett in the 767 out of Arlington. A1 Auto Services Center sponsors him. Howard Mackey, the 68 out of Goldbar, in the Bubba's Roadhouse car. 11 cars, 30 times around. It is the Outlaw Figure 8. You can see Holton making his season debut, but he's doing it Mackenzie Dietz's Super Stock Figure 8.
So it's Outlaw Figure 8 plus one Super Stock Figure 8.
That's fine. We'll see. I mean, if you're going to pick a Super Stock Figure 8 to run, this is a darn good one. We know how fast that car is. Green flag is out. We are underway. Haley Wilkinson jump into the early advantage in the 35. This is a really good spot for Haley. We have seen her out in front lead the field. She is a very good front runner. Look out. Problems, crashing, smashing, and destroying stuff. Fantastic.
That's Spieler, who's hit about every car so far. Like the worst out of that was Jess Wilkinson, who was the main car that got tangled up right there. Ricky Dietz also had some heavy contact. I think that was him pulling off right there on the right-hand side. So a couple of the really strong cars possibly done early here after that heavy contact on lap number 1 around the North Pole.
You're saying that just goes out and hits a jet dragger? We could call him Juan Pablo Beeler?
Sure.
All right.
Sure, Caleb.
I'm into it. Chris Curtis, the 74, the former Trek champion, working his way forward. Ryan Clark's had a really good start to the year, and I almost just laid the commentator's curse on him as he was trying to make his move around Bruce and had to take the scenic route to do it.
Yeah, I think Bruce saw that he had not hit the 51 car yet, so he was trying to add him to the checklist. Is all up front, it's been Haley Wilkinson in the 35. Clean sailing after that chaotic start, and the caution not come out, so she's off to a nice, comfortable lead. But is it ever a comfortable lead here at the most dangerous intersection on the planet?
Well, let's see. Caution would also make that go away in a big hurry. Zach Larson's got second, Chris Curtis has got third, and Dakota Wilkinson already up and on the back of the 67 of Holton. He will make the pass coming off the corner. Want to thank Outlaw Roofing. They are our show sponsor here on Home Track Heroes, and without them we wouldn't be able to see all the action that's going on. Zach Larson, lightning quick at the 83. He has had absolutely miserable luck here so far on the year. As you can see him flying around, running second, and he has closed up on Wilkinson in a big hurry.
Yeah, your top three all have gone considerably a lot closer. As I think the intersection right there, part of it, as you saw Jess had to check up there for, I think that was Ricky Dietz maybe made his way back out, as that's going to allow Zach Larson to take over the race lead and possibly Curtis to follow through. No, second and third go around. Oh, no.
Problem city for Wilkinson and Curtis. Can Haley get turned back around and we stay green? That gives the lead to Larson, and we do not stay green. Caution out. Let's bunch the field up as Wilkinson stuffed over in the South Pole, and let's watch it happen more than a few more times here in replay.
Yeah, I think Curtis thought that she might just give him the inside lane there, and she was not backing out, and they just kind of came together there. I think you kind of put that as just a racing deal on both drivers, both going for the same spot. As yeah, from the drone right there, you see Curtis just really try to get to that inside, and Wilkinson was still there.
Yeah.
So it's occupied track right there.
From Chris's point of view, he's going to think he's clean right there, and unfortunately for Haley, just needed to stab the brake maybe a hair more than what she did getting into that South Pole, into the left rear. Of course, both drivers, valid arguments that, hey, I want the spot, I'm going to take it. And neither of them's going to cede the point at all.
What? Are you saying racers can't agree on things?
I'm saying that's part of figure eight racing
okay.
in particular, because margins are very, very narrow in there. We know how hard it is to pass in the figure eight class, too.
Yes, very. And we're going to jumble the field back up here. 7 laps complete, 23 to go. Dakota Wilkinson now up there on the second row with the 51 at Clark. So some new runners up there on the podium spots right now. Again, 67 right there. Nick Holden doing a great job there in the Superstock, hanging with all these guys.
And I should say feature winners in Wilkinson and Clark early on in the season, as they're right in behind Larson as we take off for green once again. This is the right-hand set of corners, or the South Pole if you prefer, as it's located in the more south location of the racetrack. These corners, the left-hand turns of the North Pole, depending on how you want to call it. As Clark will wedge his way around Wilkinson, he'll move his way into second, and Wilkinson says,
keep going.
Not so fast. Nice save by Clark.
Wow.
Wilkinson to the outside, trying to take it away from him, as Clark fends him off and holds on to second. This segment brought to you by PR CBD in Arlington. Visit them for all your CBD products for people and pets. PR CBD has help for all types of aches and pains. Go to prcbd.com and use the promo code RACE.
If you love what you're seeing right now on your screens, be sure to go to evergreenspeedway.com and look at the calendar and see when the Outlaw Figure 8s are on track next, because their shows never disappoint. They're some of the loudest vehicles. You can feel them when you're sitting in the grandstands, the smell of the burning rubber and the fuel, and they put on a great show. And just seeing these cars fly around the world's most dangerous intersection, it's the most fun you can have. Is that your race leader going around?
It is. Larson, and I almost want to say it looked like there was a tire down there. If you get another peek at it, I was going to remark at the 367 cars in a row. So let's take a look at Zach.
Yep,
yeah, he's going off.
Yeah, that right rear looks like it might be down, possibly from that early contact we saw on the initial green flag. But that puts this great battle right here between Wilkinson and Clark for the race lead now, as you saw them put on quite the show a few laps ago around the South Pole. And is that where the Angry Elves are from?
I imagine so. Well, that's where all the contact has been here over the course of this, or for the most part. As you get a look, look at the Elevate Racing Media drone shot, and shows you how close things are going to be in that intersection.
Yeah, big shout out to David Nelson for this awesome aerial footage of the Outlaw Figure 8s. As this battle for the race lead is great, but so is that battle for second we saw with Jamie Corbett right now holding on to that 767 machine.
He's got Ricky Dietz up and in behind him, but Dietz might also be
a few laps down. That's right, yep.
He sounds like also had cut a tire there on the opening lap, so Dietz is trying to unlap himself, and he's got to get past brother Jamie in order to do it.
As we see them go around the South Pole here, like we mentioned, it's this most dangerous intersection. It's awesome on TV, but you have to come in person. It is awesome insight. It's so much fun. Bring the whole family out. Great family fun here at Evergreen Speedway. Go on evergreenspeedway.com. See when they race next. It is a blast.
So remind me, first time for you on the year seeing the Outlaws?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so have you noticed how much faster they look?
Yeah, it also looks like a little bit of the extra downforce on some of these guys, some bigger panels.
Bigger thing is going to be the new tire. They're on the same slicks that the late models have moved over to. And 2AT, every driver says, I can get more of my power down to the track, and it's letting me actually race and move around a little bit more. You can see Dietz all over Corbett. Here's Wilkinson now, eyeballing the back of Ryan Clark. Clark is in traffic. We have seen Bruce Beeler be an agent of chaos here during the race. Let's see how this plays out as Clark has gotten his way through clean. Now it's Wilkinson's turn.
Yeah, I think these bigger tires that they're on now, they were on a similar size tire on the slicks when I first started here at Evergreen Speedway quite a few years ago, and then they switched over to the 970. So this is what they used to be on. This is what I used to see them on, but obviously the cars have come a long way since then, so awesome seeing them back on the big slick tire and able to slide around and have a lot more fun.
Yeah, Ricky has got a lot of downforce and sideboard, like you can see. Even compared to Corbett, who's got the, I'm going to say, little wings. Look how far back the paneling and ducting is going on Ricky's car. Plus, he's got almost like the sprint car wing center section down in the middle of that. Will Love tapped Jamie, and he's going to make his way by.
More room for sponsors, right?
Sure, if that's how you want to justify her, good by me. But again, Dietz is down a lap, so Corbett is still third, and there goes Jamie back by. Until the poor innocent Uke tire takes a lick coming off the South Pole.
Yeah, those Uke tires, they come out of nowhere, don't they?
Man jumped out at him and grabbed him as Jamie Corbett thumps the Uke tire and brings the caution out as he is stalled right in the middle of things. Let's get another look.
So this all started, I think, with Holton right here, the 67. Looks like had issues and was pulling off the track, and that just kind of jumbled up all the cars behind him. And yep, Corbett right there, nowhere to go. Flat right rear tire. That's what happened there on the 67. So 3 flat tires this race already. That's
wow.
That's not very normal.
A lot to untangle. As you see, Dietz is coming down, trying to get away from everybody. There's the thump on Holton. And Holton, all right, cool, I'm out of here. And, oh, cool.
Got out just in time. So, I mean, great news for Holton. He might be able to get to the pits, get that tire change, and not lose a lap.
Right.
So, we'll see if that 67 is able to get back out there. Is Uke tire #1 on the show. We made it through Mini Bone to Pass. We made it through some Youth Hornets. And all that chaos, and no Uke tires until the Outlaws.
Well, it always happens. It's nearly a given here on Home Track Heroes that a poor innocent Uke tire is gonna take one, and unfortunately it just happened right there for Jamie Corbett. We're gonna come back. We'll finish out the Chain Link Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8 main event next here on Home Track Heroes. The action continues here in the Chain Link Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8s on Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11, brought to you by All Ply Roofing. He's Skylar Hope. I'm Caleb Hart. Our race leader is Ryan Clark. Inherited that lead when Zach Larson went around, and he has been trying to fend off a very racy Dakota Wilkinson in the 9 car here for better part of 10, 15 laps at this point in time, Kyler.
Exactly, and that caution was great for Beeler, who's now up to 3rd place after a flat tire and a car spun around to bring out the last caution. So now he's up there battling for a podium position. He's going to go a little bit wide there. Dakota Wilkinson trying to move forward as the yellow flag is back out. Possibly didn't like the start, maybe?
Not sure.
Not quite sure what happened.
Well, try it again. Why not?
Yeah, so we'll try again here as we see the Delaware double style restart. As we have a lot of different names for that. I don't know what we've called over the years, but that was the one that it should be called.
I've been consistent calling it a Delaware restart.
Okay.
You missed it. Last week's show, we had a Granite Falls restart.
What is that?
They couldn't figure out what the hell they were doing, so we just called it a Granite Falls restart. No, was it?
Is that when you just kind of decide where you're going?
I want to be here. I want to be here. Okay, cool. You guys go. Have fun.
Is that when the drivers don't listen and they get yelled at on the radio?
They ended up in a 2x1x2 coming to a restart, and it was funky.
Okay, that's
only seen in places like Grand Falls. This one looks vastly better. We're back to green, although they are leaning on each other coming up and through. That 676 of Ricky Dietz, he is a matter of laps down, and now he is off the track.
Yep, pulling next to that South Pole, so it's it looks like I saw some sparks, possibly a little smoke coming off that machine, so he had a lot of damage earlier in that race. So
the back end of that car was kind of swishing and swaying around like there was suspension busted back there, so best guess, whatever it was, Ricky finally kind of felt it and went, oh, this is terminal, let's stop.
And you're already a few laps down at that point, you're not going to gain anything, so might as well be for the better. It's a 13. Beeler getting really sideways there, entering the North Pole. Zach Larson trying to find a way around cleanly to capture that final spot on the podium.
Yeah, and at the same time, the back end of Larson's car looks weird. And I say that again, watch that right rear tire. Like, that
Is it
thing,
broken?
Something looks low. I don't know. We'll keep our eyes peeled.
Possibly some suspension bent up from earlier contact. Could be.
That could very well be. Who knows? So Beeler trying to hang on. I think Beeler is lapped, so Jamie Corbett might still be third.
Okay.
And there goes Corbett to the inside. If he wasn't, now he's definitely third. Up and forward
So does that
goes
put Larson a lap down as well after a flat tire? Oh, he had a flat tire as well. That was one of the other,
had
3 or 4 flat tires we've had.
Yeah, so it's been a struggle for anybody who isn't first and second.
Exactly, yeah. Ryan Clark, Dakota Wilkinson putting on a great show. I think you said they both have wins already this year, so obviously continuing on that great momentum that they've had in the 51 and the 9 machine.
Look at the cockpit shot there on Clark, and you can see all the knobs and handles. You can get a look at the digital gauges as he's coming through, and really, these Outlaws are custom constructed. These frames built from the ground up to driver's preference in a lot of it. And as opposed to a typical stock car, they're centering the driver in this car, as opposed to having him off to the left. So they're trying to put everything right down the middle, and that gets really tricky when you've got rear ends, drive lines, etc. coming into play. It's like the stock car version of the sprint car chassis in some ways.
Yep, and you're trying to get it centered so the car will handle both the same on the right and left-handers these guys are making as they're coming around to the white flag here for Ryan Clark. Like I said, pretty comfortable lead, but it's as comfortable as you can get here on the most dangerous intersection on the planet. Ryan Clark's got to make it through the intersection one more time in front of a packed house here at Evergreen Speedway. As he's going to get through right in front of Beeler. That was a little bit tense there for a second. He's going to come around and capture that checker flag.
Congrats, Ryan Clark. What a fantastic start to 2025 it's been for him. And Dakota Wilkinson right there with him with a really solid second. Jamie Corbett collects a podium, and we'll talk to your top 3 on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Chaotic race. I unfortunately missed quite a bit of it. Walk us through how that one went for you.
It didn't look good. I started in the back, and I just thought I'd just follow these guys around and watch them crash. And sure enough, it was chaos out there. That's not how I want to beat some of those guys, but my car was good. I just ran my line, and my brother didn't crash me, so that's a good thing. You know, it's funny how things work out.
Who would you like to thank for your third place tonight?
And I want to thank Ryan Berg with A1 Auto Service Center, Tire Pros Arlington. You rock, Ryan. I appreciate you being on board with my brother also. And I also got GN Northwest, Dan Miller. Appreciate you, buddy. Bobby Black, Augie Vizzoni with PTM, and most of all, Paul Peterson. He's the crew chief of all of us, and he's a man, dude. He had a birthday a couple of days ago, so happy birthday, Paul. This is for you, buddy. And one more thing, Memorial Weekend, all the veterans and people that protect this country, thank you very much.
Driver of the 767, Jamie Corbett, third place tonight. Trying to chase down Ryan there at the end. What more do you think you needed to get to him?
Well, about halfway through, my car just slowed down. I didn't really have anything for him at that point. He was just faster.
Hey, still managed to put on a show out there, chasing him down, doing your best. Who would you like to thank for that?
Hold on. Gotta get my list out. I'd like to thank Tony V's Garage, Pilchuck Heating, Pacific Northwest Forerunner Connection, A Wesco Septic, Waltz Wood Company, Reppin Welding and Rail, P&C, Lance Smiths, Rift, DTMX Racing, my mom, my dad, and all of you for coming out.
Driver of the number 9, Dakota Wilkinson, second place tonight. Well, Ryan, Ben, you, we've all talked about how seasons can be up and down. How's it feel to start one up this time?
Oh, it feels great to start one up this time. You know, every year we kind of start off slow and then pick it up off the end of the season. But this year to get podium every race and now a win in week 3, I'm definitely happy got a nice cushion now, and we'll just, like I've been saying, we'll go week by week, have fun, pick up wins, and if we're there in the end, we're there, and if we're not, you know what? It's fun to be here.
Now that we've had this conversation here on the podium, you at all afraid of the down?
I believe in jinxing yourself and cursing yourself, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but definitely a nice cushion, and we'll just keep working away this season. Like you said, it's a great start to the season, and we just hope to keep that momentum up every week.
Wise answer. Who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
I got the best list of sponsors I could ask for. Action Machine, Bulldog Haven Northwest, Thermotech Powder Coating, JB Sandblasters, Black Thunder Transport, MCA Creations, Holton Racing, MBQ Motorsports, and then the most important people in the shop every day, my dad, Chris Curtis, my Aunt Sina, my mom, Jason, Nick, Connie, Holton, all these people that support me and get me out to the track. I love doing this, and can't wait to be back out.
Driver the number 51, your race winner tonight, the Rocket, Ryan Clark.
What a win for Ryan Clark. Good start to the season for him. Congratulations there. All right, Kyler, I know this is why you came all the way back from North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
It is the Sean Peters Memorial Demo Derby. You have got the 10X of Gabriel Morton, the 21 of Randy Mikowski, the 22 of Ethan Hickson, the 34 is Cody Morgan, the 78 is Jeremy Randall. We've seen him many times before. The 191, that's Caleb with a C. Robinson. And Tim Schubert is the 702, and we are underway. Now, the Demo Derby has rules and stuff. Only a few of them are really pertinent. I mean, some of them are car construction. That's kind of boring,
yeah,
right?
Rules, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's loosely interpreted rules. Here's the thing. You got to keep hitting people, and the guy who can continue hitting people until everybody else stops wins.
Yep, and so there is a timer actually for each car. This is something that usually comes into play later in the event when they're a little bit slower, have a lot of damage.
Yep.
But you have to get a hit every certain amount of seconds, like a big hit
2
right
minutes.
there by both the 191 and 22. So you have 2 minutes to make a hit. Normally that comes down to the end of the event. As that 34 is getting picked on, what did he do?
Oh, well, he was clearly looking at somebody.
Poor
funny.
Cody Morgan, jeez.
Yes. Now, there's a couple of strategy things, but one other piece. You see the sticks that they have out the window? They can reach for and grab to those sticks. If they reach out and break a stick down, they're done. And that's the indication to the other drivers, hey, quit running into me. There's no need to needlessly do this, right? Now, here's the other thing, and you just saw it out of the 702 of Schubert, who I am really, really digging the old school Valvoline-looking paint scheme on that.
Plus the armadillo on top.
And the armadillo. Ooh, that's the Joker 22. I do like the themes. Anyways, you want to strike with the back.
Yep.
Why? Because you strike with the front, your radiator's in danger, and you overheat it and pop the radiator, you're kind of done-ski.
Exactly.
Now that too, you want to keep your tires in good shape, and to do that, you want to go to Tire Pros, the official tire dealer at Evergreen Speedway. They are your one-stop tire retailer where honesty's the best policy, and they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros has all the national brands and offers a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to TirePros.com.
As this Demo Derby's off to a great start already. We got some Uke tires getting slung around there. You see the 191 of Caleb Robinson. He's been around these for a while doing Demo Derbies, bump to pass as he's lining up a big hit here.
Oh, Yahtzee!
Huge hit right there on the right rear quarter of the 22 of Ethan Hickson. He's able to continue on though for now, but Caleb's coming right back for some more on him.
Oh yeah, and notice he's not using the front.
Yep.
He's gonna roll around, use the back, and make a big old run at it. Now, this is a lot of cranking your neck around as he got tagged in the front as he was kind of coming to make that hit. That was a nice strategy play by
34 is getting pinched again.
Yeah, Mikowski's 21 was the one that did that. As Robinson says, Uke tire be darned, I'm creating a bigger course for me. Nice little shot. 78 of Randall getting the back end in there.
Yeah, we've seen John Peterson almost get struck all the way at the flag stand before by some demo cars. So the boundaries are, they're there for safety, but sometimes they get ignored, and sometimes you get pushed way out of the boundary as well.
And it made us really sad when somebody had a demo car coming at JP so hard as, wow. Caleb with the C. Robinson, if you just spelt it with a K, I'd like you a lot better, but that was a heck of a hit. Darn.
Yeah, that 191's been putting on a great show so far. He's pushing someone just outside the boundaries right now.
Nice shot by Schubert there. As head on.
We've only lost one car so far, too.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think that's Mikowski's 21. he's got to make that shot better, right? Quit using the front. Use the back.
Some great drone footage here from David Nelson with Elevate Racing Media, providing us some great aerial shots. Never seen this before on Home Track Heroes. This is a great look right here.
This is cool. And then you can also see, I'm assuming that that's a whole lot of fluid that's down in there. So it's hard to, if you're trying to turn in that, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, they usually go around with the water truck a few times just to make it a little bit slippery for these guys, keep the speeds down a little bit, keep it a little bit safer, and make it a little bit harder on these guys too, because why make it Demo Derby easy?
No, no, it's a competitive event. There is money on the line for this, right?
Yeah, that wagon is about 7 feet shorter so far. Make it 8 feet shorter.
That foot-long sub just got turned into a 6-inch in a hurry.
As the Armadillo car is just got sandwiched right there by the 191. He's going to go get some payback right there on Caleb Robinson.
And that is definitely a factor in this as well, as somebody's been picking on you. Get a chance to make a shot on him, you want to do it. Oh, he's a joker. Look out. He is a tire smoker as he just rolled into the Uke tire big time. Robinson with a big old smash on the 21 of Mikowski.
You see all the dirt come out of that 21 car when they got hit? Bent the chassis and a bunch of dirt came flying out.
Well, it had to come from somewhere, right? As we are just action abounds. And again,
Still
we're only
got 6. Yeah.
Yeah, only down 1. Who haven't we talked about in a minute? Who's is it the 10X of Morton that's splat? I think it's the 10X of Morton that got splatted first. So
21 getting sandwiched there. That is Randy Mikowski. He had a couple big hits early. You see that rear end really bunched up as it almost is affecting the drive on that car, as we saw him almost get hung up on a Uke tire a second ago because of how bent up that rear end is. 78 lining up a big hit there. That's Jeremy Randall trying to take the 191 out.
And I think, right, I don't know that he took the 191 out so much as that Robinson found a good time. They hit reverse. Oh, look at that. Almost got all the way up onto the back side of that. We almost saw a mutual swipe right on Tinder moment. Race car version.
Is that how mini bumper pass cars are made?
I believe so. Robinson with a C, not a K. Only thing wrong with him, kind of stuck in the middle.
He's been the show so far. Fans loving that 191. As huge sparks there from the drivetrain of the 22. Baby. That's Ethan Hickson. No quit in that car. That's the joker. As the 78, has he pulled his ticket? I can't tell from this angle. Wow. Might have lost the second one now. Nope, he's still driving it. He's still driving it, bouncing it around.
They're going to try to find a way to eliminate somebody here as they're shoving the 22 of Ethan Hickson all the way back. And they finally let up on him as we've got all 6 cars in one area. And, well, Gabriel Morton's getting a really good viewpoint of
that 34.
A pretty good demo derby.
Yeah, that 34 of Cody Morgan has impressed me. It seems like he's had the target on his back almost his entire event. Has a huge hit there from the 191, shoving him all the way forward.
Barkage, love it. And here comes the 702. Schubert's going to turn the Armadillo machine around and say, payback's a you-know-what, and so am I. As he rolls through, it's a door shot of the 21 of Mikowski.
What I love about all these cars is how they're built. They also put the header straight up, so you get to see the flame shooting. You saw a little bit there out of the 702 of Schubert. You just get to see the flame shooting. You see sparks flying everywhere. How can you not love a good demolition derby here to honor Sean Peters?
Well, you know what? Sean would be loving this too. I think we've got at least 5 alive, maybe 6. 34 is pulled off. We've got to take a break. We're going to come back. We'll finish the Sean Peters Memorial Demo Derby and have more as you're tuned into Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. Well, the Sean Peters Memorial Demo Derby has been epic, to say the least, as they continue just destroying each other, or demoing each other if you prefer, here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Kyler Hope. And Kyler, this has been one for the ages.
Yeah, looks like we still got 4 cars running pretty well, might I say. This deep into a demolition derby, that's pretty rare. You got the 702, that is Tim Schubert. The 22 green car, that's the Joker. That's Ethan Hickson. Of course, 191, Caleb Robinson's been put on the show, and then the 21, Randy Mikowski. Those are the 4 guys. It looks like they're left so far.
While we were at break, we confirmed the 34 of Cody Morgan is out. The 78 of Jeremy Randall is out. So they are your 4 remaining for this year's title. And the 191 of Robinson has laid some absolute just slobber knockers out there.
A little up tap there from the 21. That's Randy Mikowski.
That's all right. All right. So
Sparks shooting out of the Joker.
Yes, Hickson sparking up a storm, and you can see he's got some steam pouring from the radiator. So you know that there is a countdown on the lifespan of that car.
Still doing a great job getting some hits in, though.
The back end seen better days.
So is the front end.
Circling, looking.
Oh! Massive hit. Flame shooting out of Caleb Robinson's headers right there. Sparks from the Joker. Oh, my goodness.
That was fantastic.
Rarely do we see a hit like that this late in, and that might have took out some of the two strongest competitors right there.
Oh, yeah. Flame on, baby. That works.
Like we mentioned, Caleb Robinson there trying to get it refired. You see, those are the exhaust pipes. There's a 21 coming in. Randy Mikowski. Big fire.
Big time
fire.
coming on. All right, officials making their way in, and yep, getting out of it is Hickson. There's the red flag. Holy cow.
That might be the end.
Yeah, I think Schubert had just been knocked out. So if you go in order, right, Hickson would be third because Robinson smoked him, quite literally. And then Mikowski put the finishing lick on Robinson. Get out of the car. No, it's okay. All right, that is it. Yeah, Mikowski will get the win, we're told.
Here are some of the replays of the biggest hits we saw right there. You saw the 191, 22. They could not get away from each other. They hit again right there with the 34. Getting involved. That's Cody Morgan. He was at a target on his back all night. Caleb Robinson again after the 22. Wow, him and Ethan Hickson could not get away from each other.
Robinson doesn't win this, but at the same time, if you're going to give a most violent striker, yeah, I think Robinson gets that award. Not that that's a real award.
We used to do a fan's choice, and there it is. The huge hit there to end the show.
But watch the finishing shot here. Now this is, all right, 1, 2, yeah.
Huge fire there.
Bam.
Great shot from the drone. Look how quickly he was able to get out of the car. Ethan Hickson.
Oh, that was cool.
Wow. So, yeah, so round out your top three. Ethan Hickson in the 22 Joe car. He got third. He was one who caught on fire there at the end.
Yeah.
Caleb Robinson second, the 191, and the winner Randy Mikowski in the 21 was able just to avoid all that chaos there at the end, as we saw probably one of the best hits ever in a Demolition Derby. But hey, we got even more craziness here to end the show. How about some monster trucks here on Seattle 11?
Monster truck freestyle is what's coming up here as monster trucks hit the track, and they're going to go freestyle. You've got a timed run here, and it is do the best, coolest tricks that you can pull off for a little while. This is the California Kid, Willie Crash. Here's your pilot of the Cali Kid.
Huge wheel stand.
Oh, absolutely beautiful wheelie.
Nice little slap wheelie to come on to the track there.
Look at you, slap wheelie terminology.
I know my monster trucks. Come
All
on.
right, nice up and down with a mini jump there for Willie. Very cool, and you're going to see some of the absolute best freestyle that we saw over the course of this Memorial Day awesome weekend. Jump, and again, another slap wheelie coming up and off. This one with a little more momentum, a little more speed. Willie Crash doing good things.
Yeah, I think his monster truck is definitely more built towards that style and being able to really have the car slam down on the front end like that and throttle up, and doesn't really have anything big hanging off the back of his truck, so he's able to really hold those wheelies out, pointing straight up in the air for a very long time.
Nice looking run here. Cali Kid is fashioned after a 1934 rat rod. Is what the inspiration for the truck was on that one, as it goes off the big ramp, and it's one of the shorter wheelbase trucks. Does really well during monster truck racing and can definitely fly that front end here in monster truck freestyle as it gets up and down and puts on a show for the packed house here at Evergreen Speedway. They are crushing some cars here in the middle of the infield.
And if you're sad that you missed out on monster trucks, guess what? They come back again later this year during the Evergreen State Fair.
That's right.
Yep, that's going to be in August the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Oh!
They will be back here at Evergreen Speedway, and you're going to see crazy stuff just like that in person. Why would you not want to come see that?
Epic wheelie into the final jump. Very cool by Willie Crash again. Yeah, Fair Scones and monster trucks coming up.
Oh, baby.
On Fair Weekend. Can't pass that up, not in the least. All right, Captain USA, piloted by Anthony Starr, as they roll down the front straightaway.
Sure it's not Steve Rogers in that car?
I am positive that it is Anthony Starr.
All right,
yes.
Just making sure.
So, Captain USA, and this one looking more like a traditional truck. So,
massive air to start.
Up and down, easily could have blown up a shock on the right front.
I think he might have.
Might have just done that as he gets up and down. Well, you look at it, you look at the momentum these things come up and down with. the internals and the motors are very easily, I don't know, breakable. Does that make any sense?
And what do we got here? Is that a taco truck?
El Taco Loco is coming in now.
I think he's smiling at me.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez is behind the wheel of this one?
Yes, he is the truck driver here.
Is he going to be going pretty fast then? Is we expect a pretty quick run here?
I do believe that he gets off the first jump and says, "Eppa, eppa," as he comes up and
Some
down.
definitely different suspension on this truck as you see it definitely a lot lower to the ground than your traditional monster trucks. It is very unique watching this, almost like a school bus out there as it goes way down that suspension. That is so unique. You see him kick in the rear wheel steering there. Wow, that is just such a unique looking monster truck.
I have never seen the box style body design wide and low to the ground too. Look how much, look at the track width that the thing takes up.
That travel on that suspension is unreal looking.
Oh, and the rear steer coming and making that sharp turn like that. That guy's going to put some rubber down. When he wants to pop a tire, he's going to be able to blow a tire big time.
Definitely be interesting to watch this guy whenever he does some racing action, because he's going to have that wider stance and kicking in that two-wheel drive just like that, able to make these sharp corners.
Can you imagine when he wants to put on a smoke show, what that's going to look like?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be
Get some donuts going. That'd be awesome.
El Taco Loco breaking out the beef birria as he will slide her around. There's that smoke I'm talking about.
Is that your taco of choice, quesadilla tacos?
Is there really a bad taco?
There's never a bad taco.
There's not, no. Although, more often than not, give me the seafood variety first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some fish taco or some shrimps?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Tacos Gobernador, those are killer.
Well, like you mentioned, they put on a smoke show there.
Big time.
That wasn't even a full commitment to it either.
No, well, he's got to have a little bit of tire left for the next show, I'm sure.
Gonna face the crowd, get them amped up, crowd going wild here at Evergreen Speedway. Like you mentioned, if you want to come out, see him in person, come out during the Evergreen State Fair. 3 nights of actions with these monster trucks as we're gonna get ready to send out the next truck. I believe it's Marvin Anderson in Identity Theft.
Now, it may look like you have seen this truck before, Kyler. Is something scratching the familiarity on that one?
I don't know. Well, also the fact that the last name's Anderson, too. That's just an even more coincidence.
Right. Marvin Anderson in Identity Theft. This is a long wheelbase truck. Very traditional body style design, almost like you saw it somewhere before, as he will wheel around. This truck, traditionally very good at Monster Truck Freestyle. During the course of the night, you usually get Monster Truck Best Trick and Monster Truck Racing. Here, Monster Truck Freestyle, that is the best they can do over a timed run. We have got to thank All Ply Roofing. All Ply is our show sponsor here on Home Track Heroes. They're also the segment sponsor. And is your roof keeping up with all the weather, washing and dishes out? Call All Ply Roofing for a free estimate at allplyroofing.com. Your residential and commercial roofing team, All Ply Roofing.
As you see Identity Theft here going around, kind of taking his time, but he's hitting all the ramps, all the jumps, doing a great job at using the entire course. Slows up here going down the back stretch, gets some good air. It's a nice little pop there. I think Identity Theft a few years ago during the fair time went over a jump and lost both front tires, and they both went shooting to the side. So that was a pretty exciting unplanned jump and end to his freestyle run that night.
Got some momentum going there and up and down. And again, like you said, Kyler, it is one thing to watch him here on Home Track Heroes, but you have got to hear the power that these engines make. You can literally feel them rumbling the ground. There's a noise, there's a smell. There is nothing quite like monster trucks live, and you guys need to be planning for fair weekend to come on out and see Identity Theft in person, as Marvin's going to make big swing in and around. We should see some speed coming up for this jump, as he's going to hit those and get some big time velocity and distance on that jump with a little baby jump.
Nice little combination. Yeah, that was great there from Identity Theft. But yeah, like you said, definitely come on out during fair weekend. Like you said, what's better than scones, a bucket of donuts? I mean, they got the best food around here. Usually set up right here, right next to the entrance to the Speedway, so it's perfect.
There's a Korean barbecue joint right next to the entrance to the Speedway, so a little Korean barbecue, followed up with a fair scone, wander out, find dessert somewhere, an elephant ear.
Deep fried Oreo.
Chocolate-covered banana. There's your MVP.
We're probably going to be getting a lot of hate talking about fair food so far away from fair right now. I bet everyone at home right now is craving fair food all of a sudden.
I've been hungry since the demo derby.
That's fair.
All right, so this is Spitfire. The driver of this is Nick Jones, and Nick is from Australia, as is the Spitfire truck. Very cool body design on it. As far as like width and build on the truck, kind of similar to Identity Theft in some ways, but Spitfire does some very, very cool things. And Nick Jones is an absolute wheelman in and behind
Huge
it.
air right there off the kicker.
Look how far that front end got up and in. All right, Nick, what can you do? Impress us, buddy, in Spitfire.
Carrying some good speed right there, some nice air, able to keep all the shocks intact there off that awkward landing. Gonna circle it around here, see what else he can do here, put on a great show for the fans. Like you mentioned, the wheelbase and the chassis very similar to what we just saw with Identity Theft, but the body so unique. I love it. And Spitfire, I wonder if that's hinting to anything that it might do a little bit later.
Well, maybe. We'll see. There has been times that Spitfire lives up to its name. So we'll find out if he can pull that off. In fact, if I'm looking at it right, they may have either put a new body on that or put a real good fresh coat of paint on that thing here in the off-season. One of the cool things about this Malicious Monster Truck Tour is every single one of these guys helps each other out, works on the trucks. Something goes wrong, they all thrash together to fix her up. That way everybody can make their runs and everybody can entertain the fans. And yeah, this is Monster Truck Freestyle, which is the highlight of their night. Every single one of these drivers wants to win Monster Truck Freestyle.
Exactly, yeah. They're all one big team, so they're always out there in the pits working hard on all each other's trucks, trying to fix what might have broke the night before. Because like you said, 3 nights in a row, that's a lot of wear and tear on these machines. So it's cool seeing such a great community. And also, we usually have a fan fest during the fair weekend, so you come right up close, meet the drivers, maybe even get your picture standing right next to one of these giant wheels. This huge air there from Spitfire on the backstretch, destroying some of those cars there as he's doing a great job here. Nick Jones is in Spitfire, coming back down the front straightaway. Crowd's going crazy for him. Yeah. Obviously one of the fan favorites.
You'll even have these drivers, big vertical air there from Nick, and a slap wheelie to follow as he's dragging the tail. Super cool.
Great stuff there from Spitfire. That got the crowd all the way up on their feet here, coming down to the end of it. As I think we only got one more truck after this, so he's trying to really raise the bar and put down such a great run, get a very high score here. Hopefully it's what he's able to do. Going to come around, do some donuts there to end it. Didn't keep it going. Let's say first real donuts we've seen in the night. Great job there from Spitfire.
Spitfire, you name it, Nick Jones. You'll also see these drivers come out. There are monster truck rides available during the course of these. And Nick will come out, Willie Crash will come out. Heck, even Dallas Glenn Rogers, the fantastic series announcer for them, will bring a truck or even run the ride truck once in a while. So shout out to those guys. It is a bunch of fun. We got one left, and this is the man, Bill Payne.
This is the guy.
Rockstar. Yeah, and if there is one truck that has been custom, I mean, just look at the shocks on this thing. Custom build for amazing freestyle runs, it's Bill.
And he's going to start off right away. A little drift action right into the first big ramp. Going to hit it up. A nice combination there. Some of the trucks that have seen better days, some of the cars that have seen better days. Carrying a lot of speed. That's one thing you'll definitely notice with Bill Payne and Rockstar is I don't think he has a brake pedal on that thing. He is constantly on the throttle. This truck sounds amazing, as you can tell right now from your living room. Sounds even better in person as he is flying around this course. I mean, come on, he's about hit every ramp so far.
He has hit nearly every ramp. He's hitting them at high speeds. You can see he's got independent front and rear wheel steering in this truck. So it is built to make sharp corners, does very well in racing, like we mentioned on a few of them. But here in freestyle is where Bill shows off, and we are just getting warmed up on this run for Rockstar.
Exactly. You talk about that independent rear steering. It's a switch usually on their dashboard that they're flicking back and forth, and then whenever they turn it on, the rear wheels will turn opposite of what the front tires are doing to be able to make these sharper corners. Like right here is what you see. And then you'll flip that switch back off, lock up the rear end, and keep going hard at it. It's such a unique truck design, and it's really cool to see that implemented. He's going to go cross over the big van in the middle, doing a great job here, carrying so much. Like I said, he does not have a brake pedal. There's no way there's one inside Rockstar.
All gas, no brakes. That's Bill Payne's lifestyle, much less the way he runs Rockstar. As setting up now, ooh, are we going to see a stoppie? We are going to...
not quite enough.
Almost. Stoppie, the inverse of your wheelie, as its front tires down, kick the back end up and over the top. Now, I've seen him, and he can do it here. We'll see if he tries it again. not only do a stoppie, but continue the speed, puts her on its side, and Bill Payne flips Rockstar.
Everyone going crazy in the grandstands. They love it. I was going to point this out earlier. Notice how Bill's the only guy that doesn't have any body work on the roof. His wrap doesn't go all the way to the top. It's almost like he plans to be upside down from time to time.
Why not, right? There it is again, onto the side and down for Rockstar to finish his run. Very cool. Cali Kid, Captain USA, El Taco, Loco, Identity Theft, Spitfire, and Rockstar for your Monster Truck Freestyle. Absolutely killer show here today, Kyler. We had a little bit of everything, one of the best demo derbies ever. And we got more coming up because on next Sunday's Home Track Heroes, we got more of kind of what you saw here. The truck should be in action again. Yep. Hornets will be in action. I believe bump to pass, buses, mini bump to pass, and more. Going to be great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to want to tune in for sure next week. And the next time in person, June 7th, is Pro Late Models. They're back on the 3.8. You're going to want to see those. Two times. Yep. Twin features for that night. It's a Legends regional race, so expect a big crowd of Legends. I mean, we saw a great race from them tonight.
Right.
Youth Hornets, Pro 4 Trucks, and Adult Hornets all in action. And
Salute to Cities.
Salute to Cities night.
Yes.
Yep. Monroe, Bothell, Briar, Edmonds, Woodway, and Lake Stevens all get in for free. Is that it?
There you go.
What kind of price is that?
I don't know. It's awesome. For the Hobbses, for you, Kyler Hope, I'm Caleb Hart. We'll see you here next Sunday night for more Home Track Heroes. Thanks for tuning in on Seattle 11.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.